This latest video is to share with you some thoughts around effective goal planning and business improvement. I've been asked to speak at a seminar on behalf of Oxford's accountants Chapman Robinson and Moore, so this video is going to share some snippets from that seminar to share also with you those thoughts.
Good morning, my name is Tony Hobbs, I'm the Managing Director of Chapman Robinson and Moore Accountants. We're here this morning at the Four Pillars Hotel at Iffley to present our Business Builder Forum for 2015, the first. These are regular events that we hold as workshops and seminars for clients to help them develop and grow their business.
Well, thank you, Tony. Thank you for the introduction, and I'm delighted to be with you here this morning to talk about planning for your successful 2015 and beyond. And as Tony mentioned, the two key areas that we're going to talk about in today's seminar is effective goal planning and also the steps to consider in developing your own business. We're going to look at a number of different areas, looking predominantly about your true motivation and your goals and objectives that you want to achieve, and some structure in terms of how you can effectively achieve those goals going forward. We're going to look at things like your key performance measures, how you can benchmark your business against your previous years but also other businesses in your industry, and also look at how you can plan to make further improvements in your business going forward. I know a couple of you have heard me speak before and would have heard me talk about the belief cycle before, in terms of what we believe impacts our attitude impacts our actions, and the actions that we then undertake impacts our results. If we get good results, that impacts our beliefs, and the spiral of success continues in terms of our attitude, our actions, our results and our beliefs. Obviously that can spiral in the opposite direction, so how do we control that? Well, one of the key areas is knowing your true motivation. What makes you want to get up in the morning? What makes you want to deliver a successful business? What's the purpose of your business? And those of you who've read The E-Myth by Michael Gerber will know that the purpose of the business is defined by himself as giving you more life, and in my opinion, more choice, more options. I suppose one of the considerations we need to think about is what it is that you want for your business. What are your objectives? What is it that you want to achieve? Why are you in business? What's your true motivation? And then we're going to consider the linkage of those to your personal goals. So for example, if you want more cash and more wealth, what does the business have to do to generate more sales, profits and cash to deliver that for you? Or for example, you were saying just before the seminar started you want more of a work-life balance. Well, okay, what does the business have to deliver from a less stressful position or a less riskful position to help you have a better work-life balance? And I think we truly need to understand what our true motivation is, the real reason why, because I think if we forget the why, we may end up disliking our own business. And I truly believe that if we know what our true motivation and a true reason for business is, that can help us make some key decisions going forward. So we've just been talking about visualisation statements and how that can help us to visualise and achieve the goals that we want. But how do we predominantly look at our goals? Well, obviously there's the aspect of our goals being smart, specific, measurable, agreed, realistic and time-bound. But what are the goals that you want to achieve? And we're going to have a look at some exercises now in terms of predominantly around your wheel of life and again what it is you want to achieve. So in one of the handouts I've given you, you've got a wheel of life which has got in effect 8 spokes on that. What I'm going to ask you to do is to label each spoke related to something in your business. It may be sales and marketing, it may be operations, it may be personnel leadership, etc. And then from a score of 0 being in the middle and 10 on the outside, I'm going to ask you to plot where you think you perform in each of those areas. Once you've then achieved that for each of the 8 spokes, I'm going to ask you to join those up. Okay, so I hope that exercise was a little bit thought-provoking. The second part of this exercise now is to think about, okay, well, I've scored myself in a particular way. If I was to roll that wheel down the hill, would it run smoothly? But now to plot where you'd ideally want to be. And what that gives us our gap analysis. Our gap analysis enables us to think about what we need to focus on for our goals and objectives in the short term to bring our skills and a desire to where we want to be. The power of the wheel of life, once we've identified our gap analysis in terms of where we are now and where we'd ideally like to be, enables us to think about those goals and objectives that we want to set for ourselves. But actually, once we know what we want, how do we actually get there? So that's really around our effective goal planning. And this is something I'm truly passionate about, because I see a lot of people decide what it is they want to achieve, but don't really translate that into actions of what I call high payoff activities that effectively plans how they're going to achieve that goal. What people tend to do is define the goal, set the time and achievement date that they want to achieve that by, and then jump straight into the actions. And the problem with jumping straight into the actions is you don't consider your motivation, you don't consider the obstacles that you're likely to face on the way. So let's look at some steps for effective goal planning. The first thing is to actually define your goal in a smart way and write this goal down. Decide on the date you want to achieve that by. And then consider and document the pain and the gain of not achieving or achieving that goal. So how are you truly going to feel if you don't achieve that goal? And how are you truly going to feel when you do achieve that goal? And these are powerful motivational statements that you can refer to on a regular basis to ensure that you maintain that motivation to want to achieve that goal and objective. Two further critical steps, in my opinion, is to envisage the obstacles that you're likely to face on the way. We could probably all visualise the obstacles that stop us from achieving the goals and objectives that we want to set ourselves. But do we then go and consider the solutions to those obstacles? Do we spend time thinking about, well, if I do X, Y, Z, that's going to stop that obstacle from occurring? Because that's the power. Because I then build those solutions into my action plan. And then my action plan becomes a very simple checklist. Tick, tick, tick. Achieve the various different action steps. And then on the way, I deliver the solutions. And therefore what happens? Well, the obstacles never appear. And therefore I more effectively achieve the goal that I want to achieve, that I set out to achieve. So it's great, we've looked at some personal goals that you want to achieve. What we're now going to look at is, yes, the what, but then the how you're going to achieve that. And I would recommend that we look at 3 individual steps of how we're going to achieve per objective that you want to obtain in the next 12 months. So I call these your high payoff activities, because I truly believe that, again, if we focus on our activities, we can truly deliver our objectives. So for example, if our objective for the year is to achieve, let's say for example, double the amount of sales that we want to achieve. Okay? The second stage then is to say, okay, well, what results do I need to deliver that objective? So what are my growth drivers, what are my sales drivers, what are my cost drivers that I need to specifically achieve to achieve that objective? And then it predominantly comes down to my high payoff activities. And if I focus on the high payoff activities, so for example, if it was a sales driver, I might say, how many customers do I need? What's the average sale per customer? And if I focus on those activities and I achieve those activities, I achieve the results and then I achieve the objectives as a given. So the key aspect is understanding these true high payoff activities. So what's stopping you right now from taking the action that you need to achieve over the next 12 months, for example? Well, the research tells us that it's in 3 key areas: time, a lack of a system, and your attitude. And we've talked about attitude before at the start of the seminar, but again, something else I just want to share with you is your attitude is made up of 3 areas: your action, your passion, okay, and also your vision. And we really want to combine all those 3 areas, because at the end of the day, if I don't have any vision, I have a lot of energy, but I don't really know where the business is going. If I have no passion, then if the going gets tough, it may be that I just give up on my goal. Or if I have no action, it may just be a dream in terms of what I want to do, but I never actually get there because I haven't got the action steps in place. So again, ideally, in terms of our attitude, how can we think about having the right passion, the correct vision, and the ideal actions to make a difference in our business? It's about creating habits within your business. We talked earlier about affirmations and daily reminders, but think about your time management. What can you do for your time management to make you as effective and focused on your goals at all times? So a couple of areas that I talk about is obviously email management. Again, we spoke about that a little bit earlier in terms of how you can manage your emails more effectively rather than waiting on the send and receive button. But also thinking about a discussion planner. Having a piece of paper with a person's name at the top, and every time you think about something you want to talk about with that person, you write that topic down and you go and have one meeting with them rather than 5 phone calls or 5 face-to-face meetings. Again, making sure you're productive with your time. Another one that I share with you is the interruptions log. One piece of paper with a line straight down the middle. On one side is the person's name, on the other side is the reason for the interruption. What's this for? Well, this is about powerful information. Who's interrupting you on a regular basis and why are they interrupting you? Okay, so again, we can actually then say, okay, who is it that I need to train from one perspective about their interruptions, but also, are there learns there for me? Are there things that I can then systemise in my business to stop those interruptions from happening again in the future? Another area I talk about is again your daily accomplishments, your sign-offs at the end of the day. I truly believe as business owners that we need to have a sign-off at the end of the day to review where we are, what we've achieved during the day and what we could learn for future days. The other aspect is in terms of keeping a record of your wins for the day, your daily win, because there are people out there that are going to knock you as a business owner. They may be jealous of your success. They may just want that sort of character that's going to try and knock you down. So recording your wins from today and every day keeps you reaffirmed in terms of the success that you're having as a business owner and keeps you within that positive attitude. One of the other areas we're going to look at now in terms of managing the development of your business is to actually consider the performance and how you manage the performance of your business and truly understand the numbers in your business. Now, the key aspect is ensuring that you have accurate and validated information to work with. Because what's the point in working with data that's inaccurate? Because at the end of the day, it's going to lead you into making perhaps the wrong decisions. I encourage you to think about the profit and loss as well as the balance sheet. Because if you look at the balance sheet or profit and loss in isolation, it only will tell you part of the story. So, for example, I could be making a profit, but actually if I don't look at the balance sheet, I haven't seen that I've taken on more debt or my debtor days have perhaps increased. One of the key areas also in terms of managing your performance is to understand the true numbers in your business. Not just the black and white numbers that appear on your management accounts or your annual accounts, but the true numbers that drive your business. So for example, if it's a sales driver that I'm looking at, is it a number of sales? Is it the average sales value per customer? So, there are a number of things. It could be my conversion rate, it could be my pipeline value. At the end of the day, this is all about going back to those high payoff activities that I spoke about earlier. Because if you set a salesman in your team a task and said, well, just go out and win more business, yes, some may achieve that for you. But actually, if you focus them on the drivers to drive the sales in their business, i.e. go and get more appointments, go and have more face-to-face meetings and convert more people, review the conversion rate, review your successes, then you're going to have more chance of increasing your sales and turnover. There are 3 key areas really that drive our sales. It's the number of customers that we have, how often they buy from us and how much they spend. And the number of customers that we have is really driven by our lead generation, our conversion rate and then our retention skills. How much they spend with us is yes about pricing, but also, as we spoke about earlier, is about how we then package that business in terms of value-added services that they all buy at that point of sale rather than just that one-off purchase. There are other areas we can think about from a managing performance perspective. One of those may be to review the business on a per product or a per service basis. So actually breaking down our turnover perhaps into 5 key areas and analysing the margins on each of those 5 areas, because it may be, for example, that one area is pulling the performance of the whole business back. One of the key areas to focus on in terms of the numbers is, like I say, not just the black and white numbers, but the ratio analysis of your business. The margins, the debtor days, the liquidity. These truly help you to understand the real numbers in your business. Now, there may be a reason why you're increasing turnover and you're seeing some slippage on the margin, because you may be chasing the turnover to grow the business. But actually, if it's not intentional, and actually you've just grown the business and didn't keep an eye on those margins, you can see a slippage in the margin can make a huge impact as a percentage of the turnover. So again, a little example that I've shared before is that with a turnover of £360,000, with a slippage of 5%, that could cost you £18,000 in turnover during the year. So as a business owner, information is critical, isn't it? So if we have good information, we can make effective and accurate decisions. One of the ways that we can help our information is about benchmarking. Yes, benchmarking our business against previous periods, previous years, previous like-on-like months, this, for example, January compared to last January, but also in terms of benchmarking your business against other people in your industry. What does that tell us? Well, that tells us, are you performing in isolation, or is it an industry-specific factor that is impacting on the performance of your business? So some business owners beat themselves up because they're stagnating or they're perhaps going backwards, but actually when they look at then the industry may be going back further than they're actually performing. So therefore, that gives them a positive impact in terms of taking forward as motivation into their own business. Another key area is to regularly value your business. Now, various different ways of valuing your business. It might be a turnover multiple, it might be a net asset value, it might be a cash return on investment, or it may simply be the amount anybody's willing to pay at a given time, or you're willing to receive for the sale of your business. However, the key is about being consistent. And again, if we measure this on a regular basis and understand the true factors that make up that valuation, again, it's key information for us as business owners to move forward. But the value potential of your business is driven by many other areas. As a business owner, when you come to sell your business, there could be 2 scenarios. You may be asked to leave the business immediately, or you may be asked to stay in the business for a year or 2 years to work through the relationships and the handover. So one of the key areas we talk about is driving the value potential. And it's a simple graph that basically looks at different areas in terms of leadership, sales and marketing, operations, finance, etc. And it says now rate yourself in terms of out of 100%, how much are you involved, how much is a process, and how much is your team having to deliver for you. Because at the end of the day, the more that you're involved with, the more chance that you're going to be asked to stay involved in your business when you come to sell or exit that business. And I can assure you, most business owners that I talk to, when it comes to actually selling their business, the last thing they want to do is to stay and work in that business. One of the other aspects, and we're seeing this quite a lot from demand from banks at this moment in time, is a sensitivity analysis about your business. If certain scenarios happen in your business, how is that going to impact on the bottom line of your business and the performance of your business? So again, this brings us right back to looking at key results. Now, if we look at key results, like turnover, cash, profit lines, actually when we start to look at these, sometimes it's too late to actually measure them or make an impact. But actually, let's look at the right activities that drive the success of our business. The key numbers, the high payoff activities again. That may be the number of new leads or referrals I receive. That could be cost drivers such as my team productivity, my debtor days, my stock turnover days. Or it could be underlying success drivers. It could be around how happy my team are, how happy my customers are, how productive are my team in terms of chargeable hours, how proactive are they in terms of the number of calls they make. At the end of the day, it's a numbers game. Greater sales with margin management equals good profits. So when we move then into thinking about growing your business, we then look at 7 systemised steps to grow your business, and we recommend that you make these habits within your business. There's 7 key steps that if you look at each individual element and put them together, the cumulative effect is far, far greater than you would ever achieve just focusing in one area. And really, if you read into what Sir David Brailsford did with British cycling, that's really what he did. He broke down cycling, looked at the different elements and put them back for greater success. So the 7 key steps are your marketing. How many leads can you generate to your business with your strategic or your tactical marketing? Your conversion rate. How well are you selling your product or service to your prospects and converting them into customers? The number of initial sales you make at that point of purchase by that customer. Are you satisfied with just one sale, or are you maximising their buy-in mode to sell as much as you can to them at that time? The value of your sales, that's delivered around your prices or how well you package your product or services. Your margin, how well you manage the costs in your business to improve the margins in your business. How can you get your customers to buy more often from you? Again, around your sales and service techniques, perhaps some things that you automate in your business to encourage your customers to buy more often from you. And the 7th key area is how long we retain our customers for. What are your retention techniques for increasing the lifetime value of your customers? And if we put those 7 key areas together, we will systematically grow your business. So I hope my contribution to this seminar today has been of value to you. I hope that there's something for you to take away back into your business. I hope there's some areas that you've considered today that will make a difference to the development and success of your business. And again, I thank you for Chapman and Robinson Moore for inviting me to speak with you today and share some of my experience and thoughts around effective goal planning and the development of your business.